Lovelies of Queen, and welcome back to this channel with you guys. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. So you welcome back. So is this the first time you're stumbling on my video and you're wondering what's happening here? So this is a space for learning French, and so this is what we do on this platform. We help ourselves to grow on this various level, the speaking, reading, and the writing skills. Okay, so if you are wondering what are they doing here, so this is what we do on this platform. And if you feel that you want to join us on this group or on this platform, you want to know more about this platform, do well to check out my previous videos if you find them useful, educative, and informative. So do well to give them thumbs up, share to loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so in today's video we'll be dealing with something a little bit, you know, chilling. So we're looking at the French exams and travel on today's video. So I felt like okay, let me do this video for us because I've heard someone ask, okay, what are those French exams that they used to write? I heard that they used to write these exams, so what's it for, and the rest of that. So I decided on this video to make up some of those French exams that are written, recognized French exams actually. So, and how they are being used. Okay, so on today's video, these are the list of the French exams that are recognized, you know, the international exams that people write every time. Okay, and so these are the recommended exams. We have the TEF, that is the TEF, so which means Test d'Évaluation de Français. So we have the TEF Canada. Okay, it's the same thing. So for this, the first one, the TEF, is just an ordinary exam, that is Test d'Évaluation de Français. The second one is as well for Canada, that is Test d'Évaluation de Français pour le Canada. Okay, so now we have the TEF and the TEF Canada. We have the TCF Canada, which is Test de connaissance du français pour le Canada. Okay, and so we have the TCF-Q. So the first one is the TCF Canada, and we have the TCF-Q. So the TCF Canada is Test de connaissance du français pour le Canada, and the second one, the TCF-Q, is the Test de connaissance du français pour le Québec. Okay, so we have the TEF Canada, TCF Canada, and the TCF-Q. Okay, so we have the TEFAQ as well, which is Test d'évaluation du français adapté pour le Québec. Okay, and so we also have the TCF-Q, just like I have said earlier. So that one is for Quebec. That is the Test de connaissance du français pour le Québec. And likewise, we have the DELF and DALF. So the DELF is for the Diplôme d'études en langue française, while the DALF is for Diplôme approfondi de la langue française, or Diplôme approfondi de langue française. Okay, so these are the generally accepted or recognized, internationally recognized French examinations. So these exams, when do I write it? What do I need these exams for? Okay, so these are some of the questions that people ask. At first, me myself, I didn't know some of these exams. I just knew that okay, I have some of these exams with, and I'm like, okay, why should I write any other exams when I have one French exam already, and I even have it even to the advanced level? And so why should I write this exam again? So I can always use either of these exams for anything French. Okay, so I got to realize it doesn't work that way. So if you want to travel out to a specific region, or you want to use a specific means of entry, there are specific examinations you should write. And someone was asking, like I said earlier, so this is just to inform us of this examination and how it takes place. Okay, so these are the forms of entry for this examination. So we have for express entries and PNP. So we have, these are the exams that are recommended that you can use for them. We have the TEF Canada and the TCF Canada. Okay, so these are the two examinations that you can use. So I repeat again, for the express entry and the PNP. And so for Quebec immigration, if that is your choice of entry, that is the choice for entry that is for your migration that you would love to use. So that is for Quebec migrations. Okay, TEFAQ is acceptable, so that's for Quebec. Actually, we have the TCF-Q, that is the test connaissance du français pour le Québec, and we have the test d'évaluation française adapté pour le Québec, that is the TEFAQ, and the TCF-Q. So we have the TEF itself, which is the test d'évaluation française, is actually accepted for Quebec immigration. And we have the DELF and DALF. Of course, this one as well is well known. Okay, so these examinations are used for Quebec immigrations. So I hope you are finding this video a bit useful and a bit enlightening as well. Okay, so basically, so those are the exams. So now I got to realize that this particular exam is a cool exam. Why should I call it a cool exam? All examinations are cool actually, but this specific one can actually be used for either of the two, either for the express entry or for the PMP or for the Quebec immigration. Okay, so that is TEF Canada, that is the TEF Canada. So if you have this examination, you can use it for either ways. You can be allowed by the Quebec immigration if you have that examination and you did well, and you can also use it for your express entry and for your PNP. So when you have a TEF Canada, you're good to go anyway. So these are the differences between this examination, when to use them and stuff like that. Okay, so let's move to the next one. So how does this examination look like? How do they write this examination? What are the things comprised in this examination? So maybe you've written either of this examination before and you're wondering, okay, I've written this one before and I don't know how the other ones will look like. Is it the same method? Is it the same way they ask their questions and the rest of it? So obviously it's almost the same way they write each of these examinations. Okay, so basically for all these examinations they have 6 levels, that is the A1, the A2, the B1, the B2, the C1 and the C2. And for those that are familiar, you know what that means. So let me just divide them into 3 categories. That is for the beginner, in the intermediate and the advanced level. So we have the beginner which is the A1, and the advanced beginner, which is the A2. So we have the intermediate level, which is the B1 and the B2. Okay, and we have the advanced level, which is the C1 and the C2. So basically all these examinations are divided into these three levels: the beginners, intermediate and the advanced level, basically for all the examinations. Okay, so depending on whatever you want to use this certificate for, you know which one to go for. Is either for the intermediate or for the advanced. Of course, if you have a beginner's levels examination, it's just as, don't let me say it's useless, but you can hardly use it for something meaningful, just to know that okay, this person is learning French and can speak a bit in French. But obviously if you want to use it for something tangible, you will have to have your intermediate starting from either B1, B2, and then if you have the advanced level, of course you are good to go for anything you want to do. Okay, so that's about it. So let's look at some of these examinations, the processes, the way it is they do these examinations. So for TEF, for your ordinary TEF, these tests it consists of 5 tests. That is, the first one is oral comprehension. The oral comprehension, which is the CO, that is the comprehension oral. We have the written comprehension, which is the CE, that is the comprehension écrite. We have the oral expression, which is the EO, that is expression oral. We have the written expression, which is the EE, that is expression écrite. And we have the vocabulary and syntax, which is the LS. Okay, so these are the 5 tests under TEF. So unlike for TEF Canada and TCF Canada, so we have just 4 tests for these ones, unlike the ordinary TEF, which has 5 tests. So for this TCF Canada and TEF Canada, we have just 4 of it. We have the reading, listening, writing and speaking. So obviously you can't run away for either of these skills for this examination. For French examinations, all these skills are quite important. You just have to be familiar with them. You have to grow in all these aspects: your reading, speaking, writing and the listening skills. So basically these are the skills that you'll be tested on for these examinations. And note, these ones are quite important. That is, they are actually compulsory. You have to answer everything. Unlike for the TEF, which I didn't remember to say earlier on. So this TEF examination for the 5 levels, they are quite compulsory, but we have 2 of them that are optional. We have the written expressions and the vocabulary and syntax. Those 2 are actually optional, so you can decide to and decide not to. So for the TCF-Q, that is the test de connaissance du français pour le Québec, so we have 4 aspects of the test as well. We have the reading, listening, speaking, and the writing as well. So that one is 4. It is into 4 categories, and obviously for the TCF-Q, this examination, these skills, these levels of skills are optionals, okay, but you just have to choose 2 out of it. And so these 2 that are recommended, there are two of these skills that are actually recommended. Why? Because these are the skills whereby you can easily get your points. So the skills that are recommended include the reading skills and the speaking skills. So these 2 skills are actually recommended for the TCF-Q. So the same for the TEFAQ, okay, is the same as well as the TCF-Q. Like I just mentioned, now we have the reading, listening, writing, and speaking skills as well. And so this time around for the TEFAQ, everything is not optional. So we have those ones that are optional and we are compulsory, unlike for the TCF-Q, which we have recommended, that you are recommended to do either of these 2, which will help you boost your points. Unlike that for TEFAQ, these 2 is compulsory, you just have to do it. So out of the 4, these 2 is compulsory. These 2 skills is compulsory, which is the listening skill and the speaking skill. Of course, they will have to test your speaking ability to know how well you can speak before entering into this country. Okay, so these are the 2 that are actually compulsory for the TEFAQ, and of course the other ones are optionals as well. So these are the way their exam flows. Okay, so definitely you can't run away from it. You always have to speaking skill, writing, listening, and then the oral productions for their examination. So these are the ways their examination takes place for all of these examinations. So whichever you want to take, whichever form you want, if it is for the express entry or for the Quebec immigration, so you can choose which one you want to do out of it, and you are prepared. You know that okay, the exams are all of the same or the same levels, so it's nothing special. You know, as if okay, for this examination, this is the way they take them. They only do practicals. I say practical. They only do maybe oral productions and written, and for these other exams, they don't do this and that. No, everything is actually the same skills. They have the same skill, all levels of these examinations. Okay, so what are the essence of you having these certificates? Okay, I just realized that most times for the TEF or the TCF Canada, basically these are the major benefits of this certificate after you've written this examination. So basically you can as well use TCF or TEF Canada for academic purposes as well, but these are the major benefits. So when you obtain your TCF or your TEF Canada, so when you have the certificate, it's actually obtained for the French or Swiss nationalities, okay, with the TEF naturalization. So you actually use it to obtain a French nationality. So when you have your certificate and you migrated there, obviously you can always use your certificate. Will be helpful for you to obtain this nationality. So you can also use it to obtain a residence card, okay, with your TEF, your TEF carte de résidence, okay. So and the last one, you can also use it to obtain a Canadian citizenship. So that's for your TEF or your TCF examination. So when you have them for your TCF Canada, when you have them, you can actually use them to obtain either of these ways too. So for those of the Quebec, actually I think for Quebec is more, you can actually use it for work, for academics as well. So when you have basically from your B1 upward. Okay, when you have your B1, you can actually use it for undergraduates. Maybe you want to apply for university for your academics, okay, upward, so you can use that for undergraduate. But once you start having your C1, C2, of course you can use those ones for your masters or your PhD, and you can actually use it to work as well too. Okay, so more you can use it to work, to do any other thing there. Okay, so for your C2 more advanced level, of course you must have been working before you can have the certificate, because this is the last stage of the examination. After this stage you don't have any other examinations to write, so definitely you should have been working before you are asked of this certificate. So you can actually use it to work, more for working. I think most of the people that go for Quebec immigrations are people that actually want to use that to work. With my idea so far so good, I think, and with researches, I think more of working and the rest of that too. So basically those are the advantages of you having the certificate, how the certificate rules out, the examination rules out, the differences between each of these examinations and what they stand for. Okay, so this is where we're going to put a pause for today's video. I hope this video has been helpful or is quite informative enough for you to know that okay, these are what this examination stands for. This examination is what I should use for this period, okay, for my express entry or for my Quebec immigrations. And so I feel if you find this video useful or educative or even informative, so do it to give it a thumbs up, share to loved ones, and don't forget, hit that red button, subscribe, and use the bell behind it as well. Okay, so see you till the next video. Bisous. Okay, catch you later.